Hello everyone, welcome to another Anus production, and today, in this video, I'm going to be talking about drugs. Now, when you say drugs to yourself in your mind, what kind of image do you imagine first, or imagine at all? Is it, I'm going with the stereotypical things here, is it the kind of drugs that are bought over the counter? Or is it the kind of drugs that are sold illegally and mixed up with other things? But whatever it is, it's not just that, because there are plenty of other kinds of drugs out there. And in this video, I will be covering some of them, and suggesting a few things as well. So firstly, drugs. You create them every day, funnily enough. And that is the result of you doing things. Mainly because of rewards, but sometimes it's not just that, it's other things. Let's say you were going out to the shops and you wanted to buy a specific item, and then it wasn't there. It wasn't there, and it's been frequently not there in like 5 consecutive days. And then you go back one day, and then you find it, and you think, "Oh right, finally, I've got it." That is drugs. That in that moment when you realise that you actually have the thing that you want, there's a rush of endorphins, and that creates drugs. Of course, it's a chemical within inside the body, but it does affect mood and attitude and stuff like that, so it is a drug. That could also be said about anger. That could also be said about depression, or joy, or excitement, whatever. They're similar, but not the same, so they can actually be classified as their own separate drug. So you create loads of different drugs every single day, and you don't even realise it, which makes me like scoff at people who want to have a drug addiction, who are not addicts, but who will become addicts. I mean, why do you want to do that? Because, you know, you've got all these drugs, and I'll be mentioning more later, that you have every single day, and yet you want more. That's greedy, and that's wrong. So it just really makes me disappointed that they just want to have drugs the wrong way, if you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on, you have also the food drugs. Now, when you make food, especially like really good food, or even there will be a few like drugs in the food that you buy, not unnatural ones, just listen. The drugs that are in the food, they are in the ingredients that are used to make it. So for example, you have like curry powders, you have paprika is one of them, turmeric is another, and you will create some anyway. That'll aid you making some in your body because of the taste, the texture, and the sort of mood that you're in. The foods themselves, they do contribute quite a bit. Obviously, you use different ingredients for different stuff, and you put it in different ways. You have different techniques of making the different foods. But yes, they do actually give you drugs. I mean, like the curries, and I don't know. Curries is one. I can't quite think of what else, but I know there are quite a few different kinds of food. Dessert is actually one, but it's not in the food themselves. It's more created by the human body. But foods do actually give you a temporary sort of drug, whatever it is, whether it be endorphins or adrenaline or something like that. So yeah, there are many different kinds of foods, and they all give you drugs. Most of them anyway. It depends how they're made and how they are grown for each ingredient and stuff like that. And then also with those drugs, exercise is another drug, because when you exercise, you have a wanting, a will to improve yourself, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, or all three. Yoga is a good example that you change when you do yoga properly. I mean, you change in unexpected ways. I can't quite describe it in this video. You need to actually do it. There are loads of yoga beginner tutorial videos on YouTube, but yoga is one of them. It's a brilliant way to get a drug. and there will be some others like running, that gives you a different one, cycling, that gives you a different one, even walking gives you drugs as well. In fact, because walking is done the most out of all the exercises. You can also get drugs from memories, if you want to think of it like that, because of ones, if depending on what memory it is, it will give you a different effect, but you definitely get drugs from them, because you're having to put your place in that exact place and time to actually recall the events, whether it be good or bad. Another one, material items such as books and pictures can give you drugs. Books can give you drugs because they provide, they do always provide a story, which in turn makes you feel something for a character specifically, or something that's happened, and that in turn gives you drugs. But you can have many different drugs at the same time, depending on what stage of the book you're at, or what book it is. You could have many or one, but there will definitely be more than one if you're reading books, especially if it's a good book. It really is amplified like that, because you've got a good story, you've got a good setting, and it's really believable, and it drags you in, and you take everything for granted in the story, so it does provide a better source of emotions. And then there are pictures. They provide drugs because they elicit a response from you. They get a response from you anyway, because you look at a picture and you remember something about it, because the picture captures a certain moment. You remember something about that, and that gives you an emotion or money. Depending on what the picture is, it will give you a different one. So in that way, it gives you drugs. Obviously, it could also depend on the kind of filters that you use. That could also have an effect on what kind of feelings you might have, and what drugs you produce inside yourself. So yeah, there's quite a lot. And there's also gaming as well. You have the level design, you have the characters, you have the events, the story. You may have even the look of the game. That might give you drugs. That might bring nostalgia back to you if it's a childhood game or something. But yeah, there's all sorts of things that could go into making drugs and stuff. Also, if you see someone, if you know someone really well, and you know their face, and seeing them, if you've been away from them for a long time and then you go and see them again, that can elicit an emotional response with drugs as well. But it doesn't just have to be that. You could just be seeing them every day, and that would also give them drugs. So it works both ways. I think I've mentioned all I can think about in this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Of course, if you think that I've missed something, or if you think that this video could be improved by any means, then please say so down in the comments. Any sort of drugs bit that I've missed, then I would really appreciate it if you just let me know on that respect. Yes, so this is the end of the drugs video. Thank you very much for watching, and I am now zoomed out.